Boom. Hey, what's up? Ward Wrestling Live. Good morning. Uh, we got my man Cap, as we affectionately call him, up early. He's in Colorado. And man, another amazing high school wrestler, now in college, now the next level, but becoming a protector of our country. We've got the great Matt Kaplan from Lake Highland Prep, now at the Air Force Academy, two-time Florida State champ at LHP, a Greco Cadet state champion, and a multiple of other great wins. And we'll talk to him a little bit. He has been made the squadron commander, which is a big deal, and we'll ask him about that. But he's on here with us today. Hey, what's up, Kat? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, sir. Never been better. How are you?
Good, man. You look great with your camo on and
Thank you. Thank you.
sitting there all professional. Uh, Big change from the airport in Michigan when we were just messing around waiting to get home.
It's definitely been a while, so it's been a journey, but it's the best journey I've ever been on.
Yeah, man, it's really good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. Your dad had messaged me the other day, and I was like, "Man, how's he doing?" And he said he's doing great. But one thing, he's obviously very proud of you. He said you made squadron commander. So what makes that such a big deal?
So basically, the way that I understand it is that in years past, it's always been a prior enlisted guy who's been put as squadron commander. But this year they decided to do someone who wasn't a prior, and they chose me. And not only am I a direct straight out of high school, but I'm also an IC. So I'm the first in a while that has gotten this position who wasn't a prior. So that's really the big change, is that I have no military experience, but yet they put me as squadron commander. And I mean, we've been running so far. I mean, Charlie Squadron, we're all the way up top. Other ones are down here. That's
Just the way it is, huh?
that's the way it is. Yeah. So
What they probably took like the four candidates and put you in a little box and said, "Go fight it out," and the person might get squadron commander.
no, that would be cool if that's how it was. But
It didn't work that way. You earned it, man. That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations. I'm sure everybody close to you is very proud of you. And just from getting to know you over the last year or two, from having my son around you, uh, I know you were a great mentor in the room, a great mentor at Lake Highland Prep. So I'm sure that led right into why you were able to get the squadron commander position.
yeah,
So
it's definitely helped. So
yeah, and I mean that's from what I understand, right? That LHP room. I mean, what does Mike talk about a lot about leading by example, right? And
yeah, it's so much more than just wrestling in there. It's about a lifestyle. It's about a mentality. I mean, that when we get talked to after practice, it's really just about having that right mindset. Because if you're not good in life, you can't be good in wrestling. They coincide. Like, wrestling is such like a metaphor for life. Honestly, it just falls hand in hand. And that's a big part of that room, is leading a good lifestyle, so you can be a good student athlete. And that's really, I think that's what really set me up to come here, is that I was already practicing all these good habits and this good lifestyle because of the time I spent in that room.
yeah, and I mean the obviously PT is a daily ritual for you now. Not it's not forced upon you. I'm sure you have to do it. I was talking to a coach that just took over the Citadel as well, and he said, he's a guy, LeBlanc, that is very rigorous with his PT, and he says, I don't have to worry about PT here. I just got to teach him wrestling, because on
Exactly.
these campuses like the Air Force and Citadel, it's part of your daily time block, right? I mean, you have to PT.
Yeah, there's definitely there's a big chunk of the day set aside so people can work out, go on their runs. A big part of being here is making sure you're nutritionally sound. That of course your academics and your military standing is all good, but outside of all that, there's your athletics, and your athletics is combined with your nutrition. All your we have fitness tests. You have to. Everyone's held up to a certain standard here. So definitely wrestling, and I mean, for sure, being in the LHP room prepared me more than plenty for that. So
Yeah, I was going to ask how Scott and Mike really led into that because they seem like a little dynamic duo there, and they
Yeah,
work well off of each other. But um, I mean, I think I was talking to Mike the other day, and he says right now there's 10 guys at D1 schools, including yourself, and that says a lot about not just the wrestling that they're putting out there, but the people, right? Um,
exactly.
how does he make sure that academically how does he and Scott and Miss Palazzo make sure that academically you guys are on the right track to be able to get these opportunities? Because the wrestling is there, right? But if your grades aren't there, or if academically you're not prepared, it doesn't matter, right?
Exactly. So a big part actually, and I remember doing this is, Miss Plaza plays a huge part of the program and make sure guys are there academically because she's at the school, right? She can check up on grades. So throughout the year, we would have grade checks, and if you weren't doing too hot, you would obviously get sat down. But not only that, you'd have an entire team there that would help you academically if you needed it. I remember there were multiple times that there were just guys who would always help, like tutor sessions before, after practice. I mean, they definitely make sure that your academics are there because you're called a student athlete, not an athlete student. School is always going to take priority, and without school, there is no wrestling. So they understand that a lot, and that's a big part of how we're so successful is because we have the academics, we have the lifestyle, we have the wrestling, and if you don't have the school, you can't have the wrestling. So that's usually the big part right there.
That's awesome. It's paying off, and obviously you're on your way to being an amazing human in life. But you know, initially in your high school career, you started wrestling at Haggerty. I think your first 2 years there, right?
Haggerty High School and
Freshman, sophomore,
freshman.
uh, and you were a good wrestler, but you weren't what you were your junior and senior year, right? So
Definitely.
that's that summer transitioning to the new room. What was that transition like? And talk about, would you be here today without that transition, or without your dad or your parents or the coaches accepting you, or allowing you the opportunity to do that?
So so yes, like you said, yeah, I did. I made it to the state tournament my sophomore year. It's not like I wasn't bad at wrestling in my freshman and sophomore years, but I'd always wanted something more and something that could push me. And it's just the way it happened. I went to a few camps, I think, um, after my sophomore state tournament, and I just became more and more involved and started traveling with these guys more and realized that was the clear next step for me. And so making that jump, at first it was a little tough. I definitely, everyone else was up here. I was still coming down from right there, but um, I would say that, I would not be here at all if it wasn't for that transition and my dad and these coaches and my team. I just the level that they train at, just like I said earlier, like mentally, physically, academically, everything is just so top tier, top notch. And that's what they strive for. And so no, I would not be here if it weren't for, my dad, Coach Palazzo, Coach Scott, just the entire LHP community.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're a little badass until you get into one of those big rooms, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, homie. And, so talk about your transition. I mean, you decided to well, first of all, the state tournament. Your junior year, I mean, you pinned your way through the entire tournament and just crushed everybody in the finals. You pinned the kid in 3 minutes and it was over. This year, you went through pretty much the same way unscathed, but then you hit that finals match and it was a little closer, a decision 6-3. Going to talk us through that final senior year tournament?
Well, I it's really here's the thing about being in the 220s and heavyweights is that you can bench the whole world, if you have the ability, but if you get tired, I mean, you get tired, you can't move. So I knew that I wasn't going to get tired very easily. I knew I did have strength under my belt, and I knew I had a decent amount of technique. So all I was doing was just, I stuck to basics. I I didn't try and force anything because in the past I have had that mistake, come to bite me later on in the match. Uh, I just went out there and did what I love to do. I wrestled.
Yeah, and it was a close match, that final. I mean, I think you pinned your way all the way through the semifinals, right? And then
I can't recall.
I think you,
I'm sure there were a few decisions thrown in there.
yeah, but I mean, you kind of coasted through. You weren't really tested until that final match, and then it was real close. And like you said, your cardio and your preparation paid off there at the end, and you made a couple moves, and that was it. So to end your senior year on a high note, man, how'd that feel?
Oh, it felt great. It's just like everything that you've done just pays off, really. It's just the preparation, the hard work, all the academics. It all just comes together. Early on the season too, at some of these national level tournaments, yeah, there is tests, and then at the end, it just all pays off when you get your hand raised. So
Yeah, I think we went to the grappler with you, but if I remember right, didn't you? Was that you, or maybe it was someone else? Somebody hurt their leg, hurt their ankle.
no, who was that? No, that would I can't remember who that was. That wasn't me though. No, I wrestled at that tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, you I think it was Scott's son.
Yeah, Hunter
Hunter.
hurt his leg on the second or third match. Yeah.
I didn't remember. I remember someone going down. I didn't remember who it was
Yeah,
initially, but
that's tough.
that was fun. They're doing it in Myrtle Beach this year.
Are they?
Yeah, so I guess Michigan has some laws, so they moved it to Myrtle Beach this year, and I think Tony Greathouse thought, man, he was a little nervous about it, but there hasn't really been wrestling, right? So I think he could have put that tournament in like Buffalo, New York, and he would have gotten a ton of kids. But it turned out, and what's great is a bunch of Florida and Georgia kids that have never been able to travel there before are now making the drive. It's only 7 hours from South Florida, whatever.
Yeah,
Florida. So they're going to get some full teams. I think he said he's got over 60 state champions, over 130 state placers coming in. So it should be an exciting one to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Should be a pretty good tournament.
How do you like Colorado?
Oh, I love it here. The mountains are definitely different from Florida. They're basically just sea level all the way through. Hikes are cool. The elevation was a pain though to get over at first, but I'm over that now.
Yeah, the running was a little different.
The running when you just can't. I mean, it's just no, but we're doing all right here. We're pretty good. So
cool. Yeah, I love Colorado myself. I think it's great. Probably the mountains look a little bit better than like the wood shop out back at CFWA.
The view is definitely nicer for sure. We had first snowfall here, I think, about a week and a half ago. So that was exciting. You just wake up and the ground is white.
Yeah, you don't see snow much in Orlando.
Oh no, sir.
Man, that's cool. So what made Air Force the right place for you, and how has the transition been?
So to start, I'd always kind of considered myself, it's someone who likes to help others. I mean, it might sound funny, but yeah, I lifeguarded at I was a lifeguard at New Smyrna Beach for about 2 years, and I liked it there. I was just out there helping people, and so
right there, you were just trying to pick up girls that summer.
Oh, I was making some money. No, but on a serious note, I'd always found that some sort of public service was really my next step, and I feel like just growing up in Florida in the United States, there's just so much opportunity, and I'm so thankful to have grown up, with the life I had and where I was. So I just one, just serving is just giving back to the country that's given so much to you. That's just something that has always inspired me, and academics here too. I mean, it's pretty up there. It's some have compared it to an Ivy League education. So there's that, and then the athletics too. I mean, they know what they're doing here for sure. So with combined the athletics, combined with the academics, combined with the fact that you can go through school out, you just commission into the Air Force as an officer and give back to your country, serve. All that combined just seemed really fit for who I am and where I want to be.
Man, that's great. And you'll get to see a couple good football games, huh?
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's got to be
I'm
fun.
looking forward
That
to that.
experience has to be really cool. Yeah, I'm sure. Sure, eventually we'll get through all this and get back in the stands. But the transition there's been good for you. You obviously became a squadron commander. That's awesome. What are kind of your next goals? I mean, obviously you want to get through. You want to get through the Air Force. You want to get commissioned as an officer. Is wrestling after the Air Force something you want to do on the world level, or do you want to get right into service?
So here's the thing: is that if you do end up, actually being able to perform on a world level, you can serve. You can do some of your service requirements as an athlete. It's called the World Class Athlete Program. So, if that opportunity arises, yeah, I'll take it. But right now, I'm just going through, a day, a year at a time. Right now, I'm at the prep school, so right now I'm training, getting bigger, getting my technique down, academics, just getting up there, getting ready for up on the hill, as we say. So.
Your dad says, I'm supposed to ask you this question at the end, but he's like, I enjoyed the interview until you chose the Air Force over the Marines.
Yeah, that's expected. Air Force all the way, though.
Yeah, I love it. Man, so who has been your favorite wrestler to compete against, or favorite team to compete against over the years?
Well, I suppose that I don't know. I've wrestled Braxton Amos a few times, and that was always a good gauge. Is that wrestling him at first, I got thrown around, but then at the end, I put up a little bit of a fight. I guess it went down to decision. So I was always looking forward to wrestling him. Gauging where I'm at. He was always a good way to see where I'm standing. So I was excited.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember I had Jacob on early on who you had beat in like the quarterfinals or something or whatever, coming into the states, and you beat him in regionals as well, and probably districts too. but I asked him who was your favorite wrestler to compete against over the years, and he mentioned Cap, and I asked him why, and he said because he always wrestled me. He always took me serious. Like, he didn't go out there and just pretend like I didn't exist, cut me all the time. Like, he actually, if it was going to be over in a minute, he was going to pin me in a minute. There was no bullshit. Like, he's like,
Yeah,
and I respected that,
Yeah, it's when you start getting cocky and start thinking you're at the top of the world that things start to go bad for you. So no, I never tried to underestimate someone because like I always say, anyone can lose. And especially in the sport of wrestling, anyone can lose if the other person just wants it more. So yeah, I always did my best to take everyone as serious as I could. I always treated them, they're just someone they're someone I'm wrestling. It's not where you come from or anything, because there's always an underdog for a reason. Anyone can lose. So.
Well, I got to imagine at the weight that you wrestle in, everybody's strong. Not everybody's conditioned like you are, so they're strong for the first round, and then that's where they fade on you. But so yeah, when you say you can get caught, and you have a 225-pound, 6'4" guy on the other side of you, if your technique or you take it light, you can get caught, right?
Yeah, I mean, anyone can get caught if the other guy just does that move a little bit better, slip, just that's it. So you always you can never just treat anyone like they're lesser. I mean, it's just they're just an opponent that you have to go out there, you have to wrestle, give it your all. So
nice. Have you let's see. Haley Comer Williams says, "Hey Cap, Maria Brown Tobia, so proud of you, Cap. Missing the great group of guys."
Mm-hmm.
Have you been rolling? Have you had a chance to roll around on the mat, or has everything been kind of school right now or focus right now?
No, we've been on the mat a little bit. We've been working hard, staying healthy. So
Nice. Felt good to be on there.
to be back for sure. Feels good to be
Yeah.
back.
Nice. It's got to be something rolling on the mat in Colorado and then getting to like regular air. You got to be like, wow. Not only were you were good, you were good condition wise here in Florida, so I could imagine next level now. Well, man, it'll be great to see the Air Force Academy wrestle and see be a part of it. So I've been told that you have a sister that is on the mat as well. You know
Yeah,
how's
she's
she doing?
she's still back at Haggerty where I used to go, and I guess she'd been doing the cheerleading and she recently took up being on the weightlifting team. I was pretty proud of her for that. And now she decided to make the jump into wrestling. So I have nothing but encouragement for her. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'll definitely, being 1,000 miles away, it's a little hard, but I'll definitely be watching from a distance, I suppose. So
Yeah, for sure. What grade is she in?
she's she's a junior.
Junior. Well, good for her, and it'll be fun to watch her. And then her senior year, the girls will be sanctioned. So
Really? Is that how they're doing it in Florida now? I
yeah, so 20, they passed it for starting 21-22 season. So not this season, but next season they'll be fully sanctioned on the state level. They'll be at Silver Spurs, from what I'm understanding. So
That's,
uh,
I've been a little disconnected. Forgive me, but that's good news. That's great.
yeah, I mean, I'd imagine when you're at an academy, uh, a lot of stuff outside the walls, they got to keep you pretty focused on the mission at hand. So
Sure, definitely.
uh,
Not too many distractions up here.
no, I bet. I mean it, and I'm sure you've encouraged her, and I'm sure your dad has encouraged her when CFWA gets back open to get her over there. And
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's just nowhere better. That's if you want to get good, you go to CFWA. I mean, that's really the end of it. I mean, that's it.
what do you think about their transition to preps?
Interesting. I wasn't obviously that doesn't affect me that much. I don't know. There's good and bads to every decision. So I just that's obviously that's the next step for them. They've been chasing that national title for as long as I was there and before. So that's the next logical progression. And I guess in order to do that, they had to leave the FHSAA. So if that's it, then that's that.
Off they go.
Off they go. Yeah, exactly. It's just no one can really stop them now.
Yeah, it's good, and I'm sure we'll see you back in the room working with the kids at some point when you're out, when you're home, like we do all of you alum of the school. But
We always find a way back one way or another.
this has been awesome, man. I'm so happy to. What did it mean the first time you put on those clothes?
It's just you just become part of something bigger than yourself. It's just I don't know. For me, I finally just like found my calling, if you will. It's just something that has always been on my mind. In all throughout high school, I just should I serve? Should I? And now here I am. It just seems so natural. I know, like for some people, it's a big, huge jump. Going from civilian life to serving. I don't know. For me, it just seemed natural. It just
Awesome. Well, Haley Comer Williams just said what a great role model this young man is. So, hey, you were wrestling around 220. What have you bulked up to now?
So I've gained about 10 pounds since basic ended. So I'm up to about 235 now. Ideally, I'd like to put on another 10, but I just gotta be careful. You gotta do it right. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can get some Mickey D's and Burger King and stuff.
oh, exactly. That'll
A couple of Whoppers will get you up there real quick.
sure. No, I gotta be careful there. There is actually a Burger King on base, so I gotta be wary.
Yeah, It'll be tougher to run up those hills.
Yeah, it might be a little bit. Slowly, one Whopper after another.
Like the movies, right? They'll put a Whopper in your mouth and make you run up the hill. Like, you like Whoppers, son? Here, put one in your mouth and run up the hill. You'll never eat a Whopper again.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that's not where I earn my
10 pounds.
I gotta make sure that's not where I punch out my my buy 7 get 1 free card.
Yeah, probably not good.
Uh,
That's funny. I had what's his name? I had Jack Mueller on, and he said he said he gets to Virginia Tech his freshman year or something, and all the guys are eating healthy, and he leaves the room and he walks out to, I think it was a Five Guys, and he comes walking back with Five Guys, and he says Coach sees him, and he looks at Coach at Virginia. No, he's at Virginia, yeah. And he looks at Coach, and Coach looks at him, and he's like, I threw the food away.
Yeah, I think, man, Five Guys does sound good right about now.
Coach Scott says, what was the hardest practice we ever had?
Oh man, which practice wasn't hard? I mean, there were I can remember there were lots of times where I was just I was dying. They're definitely. I mean, the first couple of what was it, of rumbles were definitely tough for me starting out. Right after that sophomore year, but there were definitely. I'd say some of the practices, just starting off, that junior year, because I'd still be coming off. I spent the whole summer with them, but they definitely do up the conditioning and everything. So definitely some of those early on practices.
Yeah, I've heard Brandon Scott. I've heard Coach Scott really likes
any practice that was purely Coach Scott ran was those ones were the toughest, honestly, because we called him Sergeant Slaughter for a reason. So.
I'm never calling you Coach Scott again. You're now Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. No, you just keep going and going. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, what a good guy Coach Scott is.
Yeah,
he's been great with my child, and I'm sure with everybody's.
Let's
do it. Let's do the 10 questions so we can get you back out with your pals.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. T-bone or ribeye?
I'm gonna have to say ribeye on that one. I'm not sure. Mostly I'm a sirloin kind of guy, but when I get up there, usually ribeye.
You prefer Greco? Oh, he said major pain.
Major pain, that works too. Yeah, anything like that for sure.
Greco or freestyle?
I don't know. I'd say freestyle on that one. I'm if you're asking me, like Greco, freestyle, or folk style, I say folk style, but if I had to choose, probably freestyle.
All right. Burgers or wings?
Burgers.
A Whopper.
Burgers.
Head and arm or suplex?
Head and arm all day. Head and arm every day.
Scrambled or over easy?
Scrambled, for sure.
High C or ankle pick?
Ankle pick, probably.
Soft tacos, hard tacos?
Soft taco. Well, no. Depends where you go, but hard taco.
Taco China or the Black Rooster?
Yeah, it depends.
If anybody wants to know Taco China, forget their tacos. They got the best Japanese hot dogs. Half or cradle?
Oh, so cradle king.
Yeah, I mean, what are you, 6'5"?
6'2". With the boots, maybe 6'4".
Yeah, with the long arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Fries or onion rings?
Fries.
All right. This is from your dad. Air Force or Marines?
I gotta go Air Force.
Yeah, because
So sorry.
you're not the one making them PT. They'll be waking them up at 2 a.m, taking them down to the soccer field. That's awesome, man. Hey, man, keep kicking life's butt, brother, man. I've always thought highly of you since the first day I met you. And
Sorry, Dad.
yeah, sorry, man. I always thought highly of you, and you're a great man. And like they said, a great role model for young men out there. And
I think I'm starting to lose you here.
oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So I think I'm starting to lose you here. You're kind of
Alright.
frozen on my screen.
No problem. Can you hear me now? Yes. Uh-oh. I'm glad it's the end of the conversation and not the beginning. Let's see. He'll be back. Boom. There you are. You back?
Yes, sir. We're good.
Hey, so just to wrap it up, what I was saying is, man, you're a great role model for young men coming up through high school and even younger. And, hopefully they can get on the mat or get through whatever they're doing in life to be, someone like yourself. So keep doing big things, Cap, and keep up the good work. And I'm glad that someone like you is protecting our freedom. So
Thank you. Real quick though, I do want to say a quick thank you to everyone back at LHP, Coach Palazzo, Coach Scott, Miss Palazzo. I wouldn't be here without any of you. Thank you to my dad, showing me the way, keep me going. There were definitely some times where, I wasn't too fond of the whole wrestling thing, but without him, he kept me going. So thank you, Dad. Thank you, Coach Palazzo, Coach Scott, Miss Palazzo, and anyone else involved. Everyone, all the LHP parents, everyone back on the team. I wouldn't be here without any of y'all. So thank you.
well said. And hey, keep doing big things, Cap, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.